It took me 35 years of collecting sports cards to realize what I'm going to tell you in 10 minutes or about. So let's go over my collection first, okay? The intro to my collection. My collection was really nothing when I was a kid. When I was growing up, like I said before in some other videos past, where I did NHL, I did MLB, and I had stuff just all over the place. I didn't really have anything in order. I didn't have them in plastic. I don't really have much of anything, right? And this is like the wax pack era, so like the late 80s, early 80s, early 90s. Not much going on there. Not many great finds. If you do go a great find, it's very, very rare. But in this 10 minutes, I hope I can help you guys understand what I've realized over 35 years of collecting. It's a funny thing because as you look back in time, it goes by so fast, and it's hard to see what you collected, what was good when you're in the moment. Like right now, like what is in the moment. You can kind of see who's good and who's not, but who's going to pan out to be like a superstar, or who's going to pan out to be maybe a Hall of Famer or things like that in NFL or NBA or whatever. Who's going to win a Stanley Cup? Who's going to win an NBA title? Who's going to win a World Series? Right? So things like that, if the more they do that, the more their value goes up. So you have to kind of really research again. And how I did it is I had a lot of collection, and I just collected like teams from around where I lived, and really put them in a book. And that was the extent of my like hockey collection. Really, I don't really do anything crazy. But now I have them way more organized. I have boxes. I have in plastic. I have parallels here, autos here, numbered cards here, things like that. That's going to help out to me when I'm looking for cards that maybe if they're worth money in the future, if they can become a Hall of Famer or whatever it is, right? But the evolution of collecting cards over the years is so different than it was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I mean, there was no autos and cards, right? I had to go to these places and say, okay, here's a Ron Hextall card. Here's a Wayne Gretzky card. Maybe I can get him to sign it today after the game, which was like very rare, right? Especially these superstars. So now you can find autos in these things, right? And you have a lot of parallels. You have a lot of numbered cards. You have a lot of stuff that are in these packs now today that weren't necessarily in there years and years and years ago, 90s, 80s, 70s, and beyond that. There weren't numbered cards or things like that back when I was a kid. So the evolution really changed. And I mean, it really changed it for the better. I mean, the cards nowadays are really, really neat looking. They have a lot of parallels. They have a lot of like refractors and foils and things like that, numbered and auto cards, where back in the day they didn't have anything, So the evolution of cards are really cool. And even some of the cards, like they're a better print, they're a better quality. And that's a real neat thing because, that better quality will make the card eventually be better. Key lessons that I learned over these last 35 years is patience. Like I said in the video before, or video before that, right? Patience is key. You don't want to just jump the gun and start spending $1,000 right off the bat. You want to limit your money, right? Money's so crazy now, right? That it's very hard to come by, with some people, and it's things are so expensive that you want to be patient. You want to do your research. You want to go to these card shows. You want to say, okay, I'm going to spend $5 for this, and that's it. And then the guy has it for $10, and maybe you come back later, and come back later, and come back later, and eventually gets it for $5. So it's negotiation, but it's also patience. You don't want to just go there and just boom, buy it, right? You want to kind of feel the floor when you're at the card shows. You want to feel these things when it's happening. You want to feel the Facebook marketplace and how that's happening, or eBay or things like that. So you want to get a good you want to get a good sense of what's happening. And these key lessons is also community. Like, yes, selling is good. Yes, all this stuff is great. Yes, making money is cool, right? But at the end of things, it's you making friendships. It's you having a community involvement, right? And you going to these card shows and, oh, I know you from last year and things like that, which is a really cool thing, right? Or you going with your son or daughter or your grandkids, or you going with your dad, or going with your friends and having fun. We always go to toy shows and stuff with a bunch of our friends, and we go there, and that's just, I don't buy anything, but it's just fun to go there and to experience what they love and see what they love and see what they got, and really cool things like that, which is really neat. As a big tractor trailer goes by my road for some reason. A next one is know your market. Like I said before, know how much these things are going for. Am I going to spend a lot of money on this or not? Am I going to do all this kind of different crazy stuff and spend $1,000 on a card that might not be worth $1,000 in the future? Probably not. So you want to know your research and know what's going on. Okay. So don't overpay. You don't want to overpay for these things. So definitely do your research. Definitely do not overpay for these things because it will affect you. Sometimes good. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes good, but also, it might affect you more times bad, right? You want to overpay for when you're doing stock markets. You want to overpay for when the stock's going up. We always buy in, and then all of a sudden the stock drops, and now we're bag holders, right? So like things like that, you want to make sure, okay? The mistakes that I have done, okay? There are many, right? The mistakes I've done over the last even like 2 years when I really started getting into collecting again, because I had like a 20-year hiatus that I did not collect at all. Even over like the last 2 years, is just going through and overpaying, right? Oh, I finally found like a blaster box of a Topps Chrome or something like that, and then there's 4 of them there, and I buy all 4, right? And then I find nothing in them, and it's a waste of $100. So like, don't overpay and don't go overboard, right? I know you want to find cards, and sometimes it's very hard to find when we're looking at these things. When we're going to Walmart, we're going to Target, we're going to these different places, and it's hard to find these things. They're on the shelves for maybe a day and they're gone. So you want to buy them when you can, but you don't want to like break the bank when you're doing this stuff. So you want to use your funds wisely. Didn't do that. I would see these cards on Walmart's shelf and be like, bam, I'm buying all of them, right? And then it's $500 later, and then and then find nothing, or maybe found a $50 card and that's it. So don't overpay. Be patient. Okay, don't be like me. Okay, don't be impulsive. Don't be impulsive. Don't just start buying things when you're doing that. Don't be impulsive. Because impulsivity, that's a word. I don't even know if that's a word, right? But don't be impulsive because it's going to bite you in the end. And the last one, and probably the most important one, is enjoying the journey. Enjoy the journey, right? Enjoy the journey of collecting with your dad. Enjoy the journey of collecting with your grandpa. Enjoy the journey of collecting with your friends or your son or your daughter or your wife or whoever, right? And enjoy that journey because you're not here on earth for a long time, and sports cards are here for longer than we are, right? And your journey should be the most important part, and the journey could be going to card shows together, making that in community involvement, different things like that, the family that you have, and doing it with your family and talking about it, like Christmas dinner, right? Oh, I got this card this year, and talking about all that stuff, which is a really cool thing. So community involvement is the most important. That I have realized that maybe I just would go out by myself and do things, and now I'm adding my family in there. I'm adding my friends in there and things like that, and doing this stuff with our friends. And it's fun because we love doing this stuff. We love talking to you guys. We love making videos for you guys to help you out as well. And talking about, okay, what video can we make next? And we talk to Scotty and talk to Johnny, and what video can we make next? Oh, this will be a good one. I hope a lot of people would like this one and things like that. That's just a cool thing to do. It's just like playing video games with your friends, but now you have like something to hold in your hand, and you can save, and you come back 20 years later when you're 50, 60, 70 years old. You're like, oh man, I remember getting this card and opening this card with my buddy, and then we went to a card show and tried to sell it, never sold it and held it. Like, that's memories, that's nostalgia, and most importantly, enjoying the journey and bringing your family and your community involved into you makes you a better person in the end. So hopefully this guy's helped you out on my mistakes or what you can do to better yourself it took me 35 years. Hopefully it won't take you 35 years, to figure out, to bring family in, to know your mistakes and to be patient and know the evolution of cards and things like that. And you can learn it now and be a better collector than I ever was. So hopefully you guys like this video. Shoot us some comments what you guys thought, and let us know what you think in the comments. Give us a like and a subscribe. We appreciate you guys watching. Later.